We've got to start with Prince Harry. I think he's had one of his most diabolical weeks in living memory.
It's also making people call for him to get his titles removed. Well, William wants nothing to do with Harry or Meghan ever again. He's done.
Prince Harry has faced criticism before. He's lost court cases before. But this time, something changed. Within hours of his latest legal defeat, the conversation moved beyond security, beyond lawsuits, and even beyond his relationship with the royal family. Some commentators began asking a question that, until recently, seemed almost unthinkable. Should Prince Harry still hold his royal titles? It is a debate that goes far beyond one courtroom decision.
It's also making people call for him to get his titles removed. The Times of London also did an op-ed where they said he should not be representing at all regarding England because the court is at His Majesty's leisure. That is the king. And technically, Harry can still technically step in for the king now.
It raises bigger questions about responsibility, public trust, and Prince Harry's place within the monarchy. So why is this conversation happening now, and could anything actually change? Prince Harry's latest court defeat has reignited one of the biggest debates surrounding the royal family. Calls from some commentators to remove his royal titles have once again entered the public conversation, raising questions about what those titles represent and whether they still reflect Harry's role today. In this documentary, we'll examine why this debate has returned, what the law actually says, and why one court ruling has triggered a much wider discussion about Prince Harry's future. For years, criticism of Prince Harry has largely focused on his decision to step away from royal duties, his interviews, his memoir Spare, and his legal battles against British newspapers and government decisions. But after his latest court defeat, the discussion shifted dramatically.
So he's lost this court case, his obsession, his vendetta against the press. He's now gone over to London, he's lost this, and he's now potentially up for tens of millions of dollars in legal fees. And there are also reports he might get bailed out by Elton John, that the singer may end up having to pay for his fees. Paula, is this the ultimate low for Harry? Can't pay his own way and has to beg friends for help?
Instead of asking whether Harry had made the right legal arguments, some commentators began asking whether someone who has spent years publicly criticizing royal institutions should continue holding titles that are closely associated with those same institutions. That debate gathered momentum after several opinion pieces, and television discussions questioned whether Harry's position had become increasingly difficult to defend. During one television interview, journalist Paula Froelich argued that Harry's latest legal setback had intensified public frustration, while also pointing to commentary suggesting that his continued royal status was becoming part of the wider debate. It's important to make one distinction. These are calls and opinions expressed by commentators and writers. They are not official proposals from Buckingham Palace, nor has the British government announced any process to remove Prince Harry's titles. Even so, the fact that the conversation has returned at all is significant. Only a few years ago, most discussions centered on Harry's decision to leave royal life. Today, the debate has evolved into something much larger. Some critics now question whether his public role and his royal identity can continue to exist side by side. And that raises another question. How realistic are these calls? Can a royal title actually be taken away? Or is the debate far more complicated than the headlines suggest? The idea of removing a royal title often sounds straightforward. In reality, it is anything but. Prince Harry holds several different titles, and they are not all governed by the same rules. He is Prince Harry by birth. He is also the Duke of Sussex, a title granted by Queen Elizabeth II when he married Meghan Markle in 2018. Following his decision to step back from royal duties, Harry and Meghan also agreed that they would no longer use the style of His Royal Highness in their working lives, although they technically retained that status. That distinction is important. Not every title can simply be withdrawn by a single decision. Constitutional experts have long explained that different legal mechanisms apply depending on which title is being discussed, and any attempt to remove a peerage, such as the Duke of Sussex, would involve legal and constitutional questions far beyond a single public controversy. In other words, the headlines make it sound simple. The reality is considerably more complex, and that's why, despite the growing public debate, no immediate change has taken place. But if removing the titles isn't straightforward, what exactly caused this latest wave of criticism? To answer that, we have to return to the court case that changed the conversation. The debate over Prince Harry's titles didn't begin in Parliament. It didn't begin inside Buckingham Palace. It began in a courtroom. For years, Prince Harry argued that he and his family should continue receiving the highest level of police protection whenever they visited the United Kingdom. He maintained that stepping back from royal duties should not prevent him from receiving security that he believed was necessary for his family's safety. The courts ultimately disagreed. His latest legal defeat marked another setback in a battle that has defined much of his post-royal life. But it wasn't simply the ruling that reignited public debate. It was Harry's response afterward. According to journalist Paula Froelich, Harry's public reaction attracted almost as much attention as the judgment itself. She argued that his criticism of the outcome and his comments about the process only intensified scrutiny at a time when public opinion was already divided. Supporters of Prince Harry would likely argue that he had every right to express disappointment after a legal defeat. Critics, however, viewed the response very differently, suggesting it reflected a continuing pattern of conflict with institutions he once represented. Whatever position viewers take, one fact is difficult to ignore. Instead of ending the conversation, the court ruling created an entirely new one. Almost overnight, discussion shifted away from security and toward a much broader question about Prince Harry's future role within the royal family. And according to some commentators, the legal defeat also exposed another challenge, one that had nothing to do with the courtroom itself. Court cases are expensive. High-profile court cases involving multiple parties can become even more costly. Following the latest ruling, reports began circulating that Prince Harry could face substantial legal costs connected to the case. During her interview, Paula Froelich discussed reports that Harry had sought financial support for the Invictus Games while also facing mounting legal expenses.
Harry needs a lot of money for Invictus. The only reason he went to England this summer is to raise funds for Invictus Birmingham 2027. He is £25 million short. He has $4 million from corporates and anonymous donors. He needs $25 million more. And this was supposed to be a big triumphant return.
She also referred to reports involving Elton John, although those claims have not been confirmed by Elton John himself. If accurate, those reports would illustrate the financial pressures that can accompany prolonged legal battles, particularly when they overlap with major charitable projects requiring significant fundraising. According to Froelich, one of Harry's goals during his visit to Britain was to generate additional support for the 2027 Invictus Games in Birmingham, which reportedly still requires substantial funding. Regardless of the exact figures,
he was going to go glad hand people and really get them to open their wallets. They're not.
The wider point remains the same. Every new legal battle carries consequences beyond the courtroom. It affects public attention, fundraising efforts, media coverage, and ultimately, the narrative surrounding Prince Harry himself. Instead of conversations focusing on veterans, charitable initiatives, or the Invictus Games, much of the public discussion continues returning to legal disputes and controversy. And that may explain why some commentators believe this latest court case became more than another legal defeat. In their view, it became a turning point in how Prince Harry is perceived. But while the courtroom dominated the headlines, another royal story was unfolding at exactly the same time. As Prince Harry dealt with the fallout from the court ruling, another headline briefly offered the possibility of a different story. Buckingham Palace confirmed that King Charles welcomed Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Prince Archie, and Princess Lilibet to Highgrove House for a private family reunion. It was the first time in years that the king had spent time with his youngest grandchildren in such a private setting. For a moment, it appeared that the narrative might shift from conflict to reconciliation, but one absence quickly became impossible to ignore. Prince William did not attend the gathering. During her interview, Paula Froelich argued that William has little interest in rebuilding his relationship with Harry at this stage and suggested that the divide between the brothers remains as deep as ever. That assessment reflects her opinion rather than any official statement from Kensington Palace. Even so, William's absence became one of the defining images of the reunion. It served as a reminder that while one relationship may have taken a small step forward, another remains unresolved. And perhaps that's why the debate surrounding Prince Harry continues to evolve. It is no longer simply about one court case, one interview, or even one family meeting. It has become a wider conversation about where Prince Harry fits within the royal family and what his future role might ultimately look like. The calls to remove Prince Harry's titles have generated countless headlines, but an important question often gets overlooked. What would actually change if that ever happened? The answer is more complicated than many people realize. Prince Harry was born a prince. The title Duke of Sussex was granted to him by Queen Elizabeth II when he married Meghan Markle. Any discussion about removing that title involves constitutional questions, legal procedures, and, potentially, Parliament. It is not something that happens simply because public opinion shifts. Even if one title were removed, Prince Harry would still remain King Charles's youngest son. He would still be Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet's father, and he would still remain in the line of succession, unless separate constitutional changes were made. That is why many constitutional experts argue that the public debate is often far simpler than the legal reality. Yet the growing discussion tells us something important. Whether or not any action is ever taken, the fact that commentators are openly questioning Harry's royal status demonstrates just how dramatically public conversation has changed over the past few years. Not long ago, the focus was on Harry leaving royal duties. Today, some critics are asking whether the titles themselves still reflect his relationship with the institution. Whether those arguments gain any real momentum remains uncertain, but they reveal how quickly the conversation surrounding Prince Harry continues to evolve. Perhaps the biggest question facing Prince Harry today isn't whether he will lose a title, it's what role he wants to play in the years ahead. Since leaving royal duties in 2020, his life has been defined by major interviews, documentaries, legal battles, memoirs, and continuing public disagreements with the royal family. At the same time, he has remained closely connected to causes such as the Invictus Games and veterans charities, work that continues to earn respect from many supporters around the world. These two very different narratives now exist side by side. One focuses on conflict, the other focuses on service. Which of those stories defines Prince Harry's future may depend largely on the choices he makes from this point forward. Some commentators believe the latest court defeat marks a turning point. Others see it simply as another chapter in a much longer public journey. Whatever the future holds, one thing appears certain. Every decision Prince Harry makes is now viewed through a very different lens than it was just a few years ago. That may prove to be the greatest consequence of all. Prince Harry's latest court defeat did more than end another legal battle. It reopened a wider conversation about his place within the royal family, his public image, and even the future of his royal titles.
Had he won on anything, Meghan would have been by his side. And in fact, the plan was for her to be there at Invictus in Birmingham. She was going to go out and do the hospitals with him. And because he did not win, she did not join. Now, she also didn't join because she does not want to be booed.
Whether those calls ever lead to real constitutional action remains uncertain, and there is currently no official process underway to remove his titles. But the debate itself reflects how much the public conversation has changed. This is no longer simply a story about one lawsuit or one difficult relationship. It is a story about identity, responsibility, and the challenge of balancing personal freedom with the legacy of one of the world's oldest institutions. Whatever happens next, the decisions Prince Harry makes and the decisions made by the royal family will continue to shape this story for years to come. We began this documentary with one question: why are people calling for Prince Harry's titles to be removed now? The answer isn't found in one court ruling alone. It's found in years of events that have gradually changed public perception and reignited a constitutional debate that many believed would never return. Whether anything ultimately changes is a question only time can answer. What do you think? Should Prince Harry keep his royal titles, or has his relationship with the monarchy changed too much? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more in-depth royal documentaries.